Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another exciting Game Thrifter video. Today I'm going to do a video about games that are backwards compatible on your Xbox One X or your Xbox Series X that are 4K. Microsoft did this incredible thing where they gave free upgrades to some games that enhanced them to 4K, and some of them got like a frames per second boost, and some of them got like a native 4K enhancement without actually touching the code. It was actually pretty ingenious, and personally I hope that they go back and do this again sometime, because it's a lot of fun to go back and play these games at like a better performance, a better and it's still the native Xbox hardware. So I think that's really cool that they were able to do that. It's one of the best inventions that they've ever come out with, and they own so many more studios and things now, right? So now they own all of ZeniMax, which is like Bethesda and all that. They own Activision, all those games. They could easily make more games backwards compatible and enhance them, since they own the licensing and rights themselves. But this should be a fun video. If you guys have an Xbox One X or an Xbox Series X, you're going to want to pay attention, because maybe you see some cool stuff in here. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and kick things off with Halo 3. I mean, this game really defined the Xbox 360 as far as I'm concerned. This game came out in 2007. Sales exploded for the Xbox 360, and it was because of this game. Think about this for a second. This game came out in 2007, and right now you can play it on an Xbox One X or Series X in native 4K resolution. And I think the more incredible thing about that is just that this game is so entrenched with Xbox lore and things like that. And I remember back when this game was like at its all-time peak, like 1.3, 1.4 million people every night concurrently used to play this game, and now people kind of freak out if a game hits 100,000 or 200,000 concurrent users on a platform. This game on an Xbox 360 used to draw 1.5 million people a night concurrently. That goes to show how great this game is. The campaign is still fire. Of course, there's no multiplayer, but going back and playing through the campaign, split screen or whatever, is still just a fantastic thing. And you can see how great the game looks, right? Like, I know YouTube will compress it and things like that, but this is an Xbox 360 game running on my Xbox Series X, and it looks like this. So it really kind of goes to show you everything you need to know. They did a fantastic job with it. It runs great. It looks great. The game is still as fun as ever. Obviously Bungie went all out with this game and kind of revolutionized the first-person shooter as we know it. And Halo 3 is kind of the pinnacle of Xbox for many people, myself included. So if you've never played it, or you want to play it, and you have a Xbox One X or Xbox Series X, why not play it in 4K? I mean, it's really just that simple. It's a lot of fun. It looks great, and it's one of the best things that Microsoft was able to do. So much fun playing as Master Chief and going back and reliving these epic moments. So yeah, 100% Halo 3 is a must play in 4K. Next up is a game that I think is still an Xbox 360 console exclusive, and that is The Witcher 2. And this is a game that is also purchasable digitally, and if you play it on an Xbox One X or a Series X, you get the native 4K playability. Now, the cool thing about this game is obviously you can see it looks great. This is my Xbox 360 copy in my Xbox Series X playing, and what I think is cool about this is I actually enjoyed The Witcher 2, and I've mentioned this before on my videos, that I enjoyed The Witcher 2 more than The Witcher 3. I think The Witcher 3 is great. Don't start hating on me, okay? Ease off. I'm just saying I liked how maybe a little bit more linear The Witcher 2 is, a little bit more structured. I kind of get lost. It's the same reason why I'm not big into like Grand Theft Auto. I think Grand Theft Auto games are cool, but there's just so much to do, and that's the same way it is with The Witcher 3. So I think that's why I enjoy Part 2 the way that I do, and I played it multiple times. Obviously, when they did the backwards compatibility feature and the 4K enhancements, I had to go back and play through it again, and that's just what's really cool about it. It's like it's a great thing that console gamers get, and to be able to go back and play something that you've already previously bought and not have to rebuy it for the upgrades. I think that's really cool, and they really kind of nailed the ability to kind of play this amazing game again, right? Going back and playing as Geralt, it's got all of the awesome action RPG stuff that you would expect with the game, and if you've never played it, it's got one of the better stories that you'll find in a video game, and they've really done a good job of translating like PC controls to a gamepad, and it works really, really well. Trust me on that, because I'm not a PC guy. I don't like gaming on PC. I've always been a console guy, so when things are more difficult to game, that's why I don't really like RTS games on console because they don't transition well, but this game has transitioned very well to the console. It's so much fun. Up next is Gears of War 2. Now, it's funny because you would think that they would have updated all 3 of the Gears of War games, right? Since they're Microsoft-owned franchises. But nope, just Gears of War 2, and I think maybe Gears of War 3 had some kind of improvements along the way as well. But, at the end of the day, it's really cool that they were able to kind of accomplish what they were with this. I just wish they would have went maybe a little bit more all out with especially their own franchises. But if you never played Gears of War 2, it's really, really well put together and well done. They've actually remastered the first Gears game twice, so if you really wanted to play through that and you wanted to kind of experience that from the start, you could play that on the Xbox One. They did a pretty good job of remastering it, and then of course more recently they re-released the remaster on Series X, S, and even PlayStation 5. So yeah, if you ever wanted to kind of play it. But you can see here, it's like, I don't know if you guys are able to tell, like I've mentioned before, through the YouTube compression, but I try to make the videos look as good as possible on my end, and you can just honestly tell. I mean, this is a 360 version of the game played through an Xbox Series X, so you could tell that it's just like, to me anyway, looks phenomenal, looks absolutely great, and the story is great. I think they really went all out and kind of hit the stride with Gears of War 2, and what's interesting is you can still sometimes find multiplayer games on this, and kind of the continuing story of Marcus and Delta Company is really well done in this game. And like I said, what you see is what you get. Action-packed, awesome. This is when Gears of War was at its best, and the game looks incredible. Next up, a pretty interesting game making its debut on the channel and any videos that I've done as far as I can remember, which is Mirror's Edge. And this game came out way back in 2008. It's an action platformer, and it was actually developed by DICE, who do like the Battlefield games now. So back in the day, we used to get more than just Battlefield. We got all kinds of different gameplay games that played differently and various different things. But this game looks beautiful. You can see in full 4K. It looks amazing. It really kind of emphasizes parkour and free running. It's got like a first-person perspective. Yeah, it takes a little bit to get the hold of, and this was like one of my first times kind of playing through it, but I did find it to be pretty enjoyable and just kind of having a good time with it. It's got an interesting story. It's got, kind of momentum-based traversal rather than the traditional combat and shooting. You kind of string together moves like running, jumping. You can vault, slide under obstacles, wall run. There's different things that you can kind of get a hold of and like climb down. There's wall climbing, pole. So there's all kinds of zip lining. It's just really, really fun the way that you do it. It's kind of minimalist with what it actually does in terms of combat, and there's some stealth as well. You can disarm enemies by kicking their weapons away or use environmental objects to kind of like improvise weapons and things. But yeah, like overall, just a lot of fun. This game, they did a really good job with how they put it together, and it's something different. So I feel like that's something that's really cool as well when you just kind of think about it and think, hey, I really enjoy what they kind of put together, but yeah, this is really something different and fun. And I think I like to bring that to my lists when I do these. And if you've never played this game, give it a try. It's not expensive, and it's super fun and engaging. Hey, so if you're enjoying my video about backwards compatibility games in 4K, do yourself a favor and subscribe, like, share, and comment, as I'm fastly approaching 10,000 subscribers. It's pretty cool, and I have to say I really enjoy doing these videos for everyone. And at the end of the day, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more of it, a simple like goes an extremely long way. And if you really want to like the channel, subscribe, because our motto here is Game Thrifter. Subscribing is better than playing the Waterworld game at the arcade.
38, 39, 40 quarters. This better be good.
Game over. Please deposit 40 quarters.
What a rip!
Next up is Assassin's Creed. Yeah, the first game, the game that started it all. Hard to believe that this game came out in 2007, and it still holds up thanks to this free update. And not only does it still hold up, but in 2007 we got Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect, BioShock, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Halo 3, Uncharted, I think the first Mario Galaxy game. So many amazing games came out that year. It blows my mind, but Assassin's Creed was definitely up there. And trust me, the more simpler Assassin's Creed games are still kind of fun to go back and play. I know like they're a little bit convoluted now, and that's at least how I feel about them. Like I enjoy playing the Assassin's Creed games and the original storyline with Desmond, and you know you have a futuristic aspect to it as well as being able to play in the past, and it kind of brought the things together. I like that storyline much better than like the newer storylines, and you know, to be honest with you, there's a little bit like too open. You know, I mentioned that my kind of criticism of The Witcher 3 for that and why I prefer The Witcher 2. It's probably why I enjoy the original Assassin's Creed games more, because there's kind of more of a to B type situation. They're open, but they aren't just like overloaded with things to do. So they're a lot of fun, and you know, for me anyway, I felt like the original story with this one and of course the Ezio trilogy are just unmatched and just so much fun to kind of play through and just have a good time with. And you know, again, you can see everything looks incredible in this game. This game came out in 2007. I mean, we're talking almost 20 years ago, but thanks to the backwards compatibility program and free enhancements, it looks better than ever. Up next is the first Crackdown game. Now, the cool thing about this game is it's completely free. So if you've never played this game and you have an Xbox One, Xbox Series, even an Xbox 360, well, the store is closed on there, but you could probably still buy it on the online store. This is free. It's a free game. Crackdown 1 and 2 are both free. Crackdown 1 got a free 4K update. It looks really, really good. This game originally was so fun because it sold pretty well, but I think it sold well due to the fact that it came with the Halo 3 beta included in purchase. So it did like over 1 million units, and people really just wanted to play Halo 3. And the funny thing was they ended up enjoying the game. So they did such a good job with it. The second one, not as good. And of course, we all know what happened with Crackdown 3. But yeah, this one's fun. If you like the cel-shaded graphics and, you know, kind of crazy over-the-top storytelling, you know, it's kind of a GTA style, but not as bulky and, you know, with as much to do in there, which I love that about this game, then yeah, absolutely. You can actually still play this game online. Like some of the co-op and the features and stuff are all still there. I actually went online recently and I had people trying to join my game. So yeah, that was kind of cool to see. And like I said, the game still holds up because they did the cel-shaded graphics, and it's a lot of fun gameplay, collecting the orbs, bringing kind of justice to the city and getting rid of all the different bad guys and stuff. Yeah, it's over the top, it's goofy, it's silly, but sometimes that's what video games are all about. So, you know, if you enjoy that stuff, hey, like I said, it's also a free game. So yeah, enjoy it. Next up is Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, and it's interesting because I know there's rumors that remake or remaster of this in 4K is going to come to new consoles, but what's cool about this is you can just pop in your 360 version on an Xbox One X or an Xbox Series X and play this game in 4K, and it looks amazing and it plays better than ever, and it's one of the best games of that entire generation. So that's why I put it on the list. I mean, as everyone can see, it looks great, and you know, you can never get tired of playing like the old school games with a fresh coat of paint on them for free. So, you know, that's something that I think everybody will agree on, and it's just kind of fun to see, you know, all the old, like how alive everything was in this world and just playing in a different era. And I mean, they outdid themselves with Red Dead 2, but Red Dead 1 is not without its charms and without some amazing, you know, gameplay and story behind it as well. So I think both games are fantastic, and it's just fun to kind of pop this one in. And what you're seeing here is just basically me playing off my Xbox Series X, a copy of Red Dead. So it's very interesting. And what's also funny is, for me anyway, I didn't get into the Red Dead hype when it originally happened, because this game came out and I think I bought Alan Wake, came out the same day, and I went with Alan Wake, and I love that game. So you know, I wasn't disappointed. I ended up getting this game a couple years later. There used to be this site, there might still be this site called Listia, and it was like a site sort of like eBay, but you didn't actually send money or anything. It was like you could sell old junk and get credits and buy stuff with it, right? So that's how I got this game, and I think I got it incredibly cheap too. And then I just loved it. I was like, wow, this game's awesome. So yeah, fun game. If you've never played it, it's a great way to play through it. Up next, maybe my all-time favorite racing game, and that's the first Forza Horizon game. They really just did a good job with this game, and it got the free 4K enhancement and stuff like that, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. And you know, you can't really go wrong with that, you know. And I think that's something that you know, they really evolved the game, and everybody loves Forza Horizon. I mean, the game's on pretty much everything now, but you know, previously it's very interesting because the way that they handled you know, this game or whatever, I think is super interesting, because you kind of worked your way up from the back of the line instead of like where the newer games kind of took you. So yeah, I think I definitely liked that better. And I also think I enjoyed just the story of this game a little bit better. It wasn't just, okay, well, here's a random festival or whatever. And this was the first time that they did it, so I think that that's really cool how they handled it. And it looks better than ever thanks to the update. This isn't a game that you can get digitally anymore. Unfortunately, it was delisted, but you can still find it relatively cheap if you pick up the physical copy. So, I think that's always cool. And I always point out, man, the physical copies of games is probably the best way to go about these things. If you want to just play it, sure, there's ways to steal and, all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's all about having the original copy and getting to play that. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see how you guys feel about this game on the list, but I always enjoy racing games, and Forza Horizon is probably my all-time favorite. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about these types of games. Next up, an awesome game, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and this is the first level of that game, and why this is so significant is because this game did this right. You start off playing as Darth Vader with your full Force powers and everything, and you're really just kind of this badass guy going through there kicking everybody's butt. You can hurt your own guys, the stormtroopers, you hurt the Wookiees, you hurt everybody, but it basically goes to show you what you can become in this game through leveling up and things like that. Of course, this is like the intro level, and you're not playing as Darth Vader throughout this whole thing, and I think that's kind of the cool part. It's like you get to build up into something hugely powerful. And at the time, the story was canon. I don't think it's canon anymore, but it was canon when George Lucas still owned Star Wars, and the guy Starkiller was an excellent protagonist in this game. And what's cool about that is the voice acting is really well done, the Force powers are really well done, everything in this game is just amazing. And the free update, it's even got DLC that you can still get and play, and the fact that they did the upgrade to 4K, we'll never see like remasters of these games or anything like this. There's even a sequel. The sequel maybe not as good, but still fun to play through. But yeah, this is just one of those games, if you're a Star Wars fan, you don't want to miss it. I think it's just one of those games that really kind of pushes the boundaries there. And at the time, considering this is just an Xbox 360 game, looking this good, having so many different options, playing this good, is just a phenomenal thing. Highly recommend this game. It's so cool. We're really cruising along now. Kameo, Elements of Power. Believe it or not, this was a launch title for the Xbox 360. Yeah, I mean, this game came out way back 20 years ago, and yet thanks to a free update, native 4K, and looks absolutely phenomenal. This is one of the most underrated games in the Xbox 360 library. It's not expensive, it's super cheap, but it is amazingly fun, made by Rare. It's colorful, it's got a great story. You play as this character, Kameo, and she can change into these different kind of characters to help get through different parts of the game and stuff like that, depending on what their abilities are, because they all have different type abilities. And you would think that the game wouldn't be fun, but this game is just one of those games that is full of heart and charm and fun, and it's just one of those games that is just one of kind of, you don't hear anybody talk about, but it's a game that when you go, oh, Kameo, some people will go, oh yeah, great game, and it's just, to me, that kind of says it all. And there's so many games that kind of overshadow it because they're big name games or whatever, and Microsoft actually canceled a sequel to this game, unfortunately, but I would love to see something from this franchise again down the road. And like I said, looks fantastic, it plays fantastic, it's easy to pick up and play. There's a lot of different characters on the screen, there's a lot of cool things in this game, the changing into the different characters and the different abilities and learning that, and just overall just a fun game to kind of just enjoy and play, and looks better than ever. So that's why I always highly recommend this game. Next up is another cool Rare game that doesn't get any love, or doesn't get the love that it deserves, and that's Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Yeah, it wasn't a straight up Banjo 3, the team wanted to do something a little bit different, but this is a gorgeous game, and it's still fun to play, being able to kind of build different things to kind of progress, and different vehicles, and collect those kind of things. And I know that there's not a ton of love for this game series anymore, but if you've never played it, give it a try. It's something different, and I know, like I said, I can totally understand why people would be frustrated that we got this game instead of Banjo 3, but also just imagine if people acted that way every time a Mario game had a spin-off, like Mario Tennis or Golf or whatever. No, I don't want to play that. Or Mario, Mario Party or Mario Kart, right? There's other versions of games with these characters that can do well and be fun. Same thing with like PlayStation. I always point this out, man. I love Sackboy, right? Those Little Big Planet games are awesome. He also had a kart racer. He was also in Fighter. He was in Little Big Planet, he was in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. So, you can have characters in more than just one thing, right? You had Gears characters and Halo characters in Killer Instinct, and that was awesome. So I can definitely see where they can mix things up and do something a little bit different. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I always highly recommend this game if you've never played it before. It's a lot of fun. It's not very expensive, and it's well worth it to kind of just enjoy just this beautiful game. And like I said, 4K, it looks amazing. Wow, and this kind of came out, and it didn't really get planned this way, but 3 straight Rare games. Perfect Dark Zero. Now, while this isn't the best game ever, or the best Perfect Dark game or anything like that, it's still a fun game and interesting campaign to kind of play through, and I just thought it was kind of worthy to put in here because it was updated with like the 4K free 4K update and things like that. So the game looks beautiful, it plays interesting, and it's kind of got a fun story to it. Like I said earlier, not the best game on the list for sure, but still a fun game to kind of get into and kind of play and enjoy, and just one of those games that I felt like kind of is worthy of at least putting on the list. So if you've ever played Perfect Dark before, you'll kind of know what you're going to get into. This game maybe plays a little bit like what a modern, or at the time a modern 007 game might be. So I find it's a pretty decent game. It didn't get like rave reviews or anything, but it wasn't bad by any means. Just one of those games that kind of has a divisive audience. So maybe you might enjoy it, maybe not, but it's definitely worthwhile checking out and playing. I have the collector's edition of this game I got when it came out. I enjoyed it, but probably not one of my top favorite games of all time on the 360 or anything like that, but still a fun one, and given that it looks better and plays better, maybe worthwhile for you. So I don't know, let me know in the comments if you guys enjoy this game or not, because I always like hearing your feedback. And finally, last but not least, I'm putting Fable 3 on this list because I think the game looks absolutely gorgeous. And, even though I think all the Fable games have been enhanced on the Xbox One X and Xbox Series X, that, this one is just something special about it. I don't know. Technically, yeah, Fable 2 is the better game, and Fable 3 took a few steps back. But I always just remember how much fun I had with Fable 3. It was like one of the first times that I can remember where it would show up on the screen, like, how many of your teammates or how many of your friends on your friends list had a certain amount of this or a certain amount of that. So it was like everybody on my friends list was playing this game, and it was just really cool to kind of see that. And the story itself was really cool, the way you had to go out and like earn a certain amount of money, whatever the case may be, and or you got like a different ending or a bad ending. And so yeah, like to me, this game is fantastic. The dog companion, the whole thing was just a phenomenal thing, and one of my favorite games. In fact, one of my favorite franchises. I hope really honestly that we see the new Fable, that it does something really, really well and brings the franchise back to glory, because I find that the game itself and this franchise has been awesome. But Fable 3, if you've never tried it, looks great, plays great, has an amazing story. Enjoy it. It's awesome. Like, give it a try. And there you have it. So you have a good list of games that you can play on your Xbox One X, your Xbox Series X, that are going to be in native 4K, completely free upgrades if you already had the game anyway, and even threw in a free game, which is Crackdown, that you guys can download and play. Try it out. It's a pretty fun game, and just enjoy it. I love the way that Microsoft has handled like the backwards compatibility program. I wish that they would go back and do it again. I know a lot of you do as well. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, be kind to each other in the comments. I'll catch you next time. Game on, my friends. Game on.